the snow. Hello. Hello. Hi, good evening, everyone. It is 9 p.m. here in Scotland, and I am really glad to be doing an oracle reading. So start asking your questions if you're here. Hi, Stacy. Hi, whoever else is watching. Yeah, you know what? I might as well invite Instagram on this. Let's open up the party, shall we? Let's do that. All right. Curious if people are wanting a bit of a collective energy reading. Maybe I'll start with that. But please do start getting in your questions. I'm just going to go live, but let me say oracle reading live. Had a few people booking in for sessions this week for talking about empath energetics. So I'm really looking forward to those. Let the party begin. Okay, welcome Instagram. Welcome. Okay, what am I going to read? I've been really drawn to this Wisdom of the Hidden Realms deck recently, actually. Certain decks kind of go in and out of style for me. I have enough of them that no one really probably notices which ones go out of style, but okay. So get your questions in. If you have an oracle question for me, I'm happy to answer. If you have me on TikTok, you've seen that I've been doing TikTok oracle questions. And that's just because they're like 3 minutes long. They're actually really fun to do these sort of brief, kind of get it all out things. And I did some lovely walking around today in town, and I did some art, and I got some videos done, some work done. And today at the retreat center, I'm walking around and doing all the checks at night, making sure lights and all that are taken care of. Interesting, a card just came out. So earlier today, I was doing some art with a friend of mine just over Zoom. We were both doing creative work. And one of these cards already came out for me today. So that is really interesting. Ooh, we've got some really, really nice energy tuning in for this collective. I feel compelled to pull one more. So if you're joining here live, hello. And yeah, for the YouTube folks, and actually for Instagram as well, if you want to ask an oracle question, I'm here. So get thinking, ask your question. What would you like to know? Okay. And all right, I'm going to start reading the collective energy first. And if we just have a small session, I might only do half an hour tonight. We'll see what happens. Sometimes the more we're on here, the more we chat and messages come in, then people will come on and ask questions. So, okay, we have the Fire Prince, which is optimism and aggression. And I was feeling a lot of this actually today. And so let's say this is also continuing for the next few days. Because Sunday I kind of do the week readings and I'll be back again tomorrow. But let's say this is for the next few days, maybe the next 3 or 4 days. Hello. So fire, optimism, and aggression. This aggression is actually what I was feeling, but like aggression towards something you're passionate about, like putting a torch to something and actually really going at it. Like something that I was doing today was starting an art practice up again for myself. And this is something that I've been maybe aware of that I was going to get back to, but also avoiding in some sense, having a bit of like maybe lack of certainty about it. And today I just felt like, you know what? I just need to do it. I just need to actually be here, be with it, just do it. And to see that it could actually go well, or see that it could actually be what you need, that optimism. And I sometimes joke I'm like an eternal optimist, but it's definitely not true. It definitely requires effort. I'm not just like naturally always optimistic. It requires like an aggression actually towards positive energy. Like if you are aggressively aggressively positive, then eventually it kind of turns into optimism, but it requires a lot of effort. I remember when I was young. So, feel free to ask your empath, your oracle questions tonight. I'm still, waiting for anyone to have questions. But I remember when I was younger, there would be a lot of things that would get me really upset. I would think about a lot of big things in the world and try to reconcile them. And my parents would say, you just can't keep thinking about that because it's just upsetting, or that's not going to help you feel positive. And so I remember like it required effort to actually learn how to think more positively, um, much to their frustration, really, I'm sure at times. Okay, and so along with the Fire Prince, we also have the Shadow Queen. Shadow Queen. If you have not gone and looked at my recent live where I did shadow readings, I might do some more this week as well, shadow and light readings, because that was really fun actually. And it's a good way for me to share a bit of the work that we do in Empath Energetics. So the Shadow Queen says acquiring knowledge, insecurity, and manipulation. So again, it's sort of like lighting on fire that insecurity that you would have. And also, I would say, like, be mindful this week of anyone sort of maybe accidentally or unconsciously trying to manipulate you. I have been feeling some of that energy in the collective of like, yeah, it's people not consciously trying, but definitely doing a bit of manipulation, or sort of the word coming to mind is like coercion. So just be mindful of anything that feels even close to that. And in both of these images, we have this like in Fire Prince, it's like carrying a torch. And then the same with the Shadow Queen, it's like carrying a light. And so I would say that's the energy we're being asked to step into this week, carrying the torch, carrying the light for ourselves, but also for others. We also have Milky Way perspective, which could definitely be this energy that I'm saying that we kind of need to avoid. It's like keep perspective. It doesn't feel like a time for looking at all the details. It's like keep perspective actually a little bit at a distance. That's what's going to be most beneficial for us, is to be a little bit removed, a little bit like open-minded, wider perspective for sure. And someone I'm hearing also might be really pulled to doing star or galactic or astrology work. So astrology or star or light work or galactic kind of spiritual exploration. And then we have tree or grounding. So they're sort of two separate energies, right? We could kind of see them like this. We sort of have this galactic Milky Way and then this rooted tree grounding energy, which tells me that there's like a lot of room for expansion, right? Sometimes we're dealing with things more in this realm and we kind of feel more like elemental. We're sort of more in this world, in this sort of middle realm that I would say, or the ordinary realm. And this feels actually like a lot of expansion energy, like what up and down, which means there's a lot of room between, which is very exciting, but can also sometimes for people, if this type of energy is in the collective, some people will end up feeling really disconnected and really destabilized, because if all the collective energy is sort of pushing, spiritual folk will have like a really fun time in that kind of expansive range. You go, oh, we get to next level. This is awesome. And people who are less tuned in will feel like more disconnected from themselves. I hope that makes sense energetically, what I'm trying to explain. Is a bit of like a whoop kind of concept, but okay. We also have reflection, which is the card that came out for me earlier when I was asking about this art practice and what I need to focus on, what's coming next for me in that kind of art realm. It was all about reflections as well. All of the cards that I pulled had like water and sort of then a mirror, or it was just really interesting. So everything, and that could be linked with this perspective, everything you're coming into this week, like allow it to just bounce off of you and teach you something about your own experience, not to put yourself fully involved into stuff or to take things personally. There's a few things that came up even in the last like day or two that I could have easily taken very personally. It's probably why I'm wearing black tourmaline. But there's things I could have taken really personally. And when you step back from it and you actually just look at it reflecting to you, you just realize it's so not actually about you so much. It's really about the world showing you something, maybe about a lesson that you're reviewing. Do you need to bother with that anymore? Is that kind of out of resonance with you? And then it's great. This is like a really solid week, actually. I'm starting to get excited because I said this is like for the next 3 or 4 days. And I really feel this for the next 3 or 4 days that we're going to have all this access to happiness and energy. Lots of energy, feels like lots of, I'm seeing tons of circles in all these things, right? And then reflection, circles, circles. So everything feels like cyclical, circular, expansive. Um, and in this case, a circle is good. It's not like going in circles. It's sort of like feeling, an oval. It's like unstable a little bit. Energy, it goes woo, woo, and it kind of like goes faster, maybe slower, faster, maybe slower. And a circle, it's like consistent good. That's what it feels like this week. Consistent good, uplift, positive feelings. That's really nice. Don't always get to say stuff like that, eh? Sometimes, some weeks, they really push you. Um, and as far as being pushed as well, it's like if every single thing that comes at you that feels like an aggression or an attack could just be part of the circle, could be part of you gaining perspective, then stuff doesn't hit you here. You're actually expanding this way and that way. So you're either realizing where that comes from your past, or you're connecting up more and saying, like, what can I let go of, or what is this teaching me in a higher place? So yeah, something to keep in mind. But it really feels like the people connected to this energy and who will be watching this reading are more likely to be in that kind of like spiritual perspective. So you might feel a bit removed from people this week. That might be part of it, but you're going to be doing your own thing and kind of feeling happy and energized in it. And I just got chills saying that. So that's a good thing. We're going to feel energized doing our thing this week. That's the vibe. So now's the time. If anyone has any oracle questions, I'm happy to answer them. Just wanted to pop on for like a quick, I don't know, I had this plan for Sunday or for Saturday, because I just really felt like I was going to feel in kind of a social mood. And yeah, if people don't have questions here, then I'll go back to some TikTok oracles, which is no problem. And there's 2 more weeks for people to sign up for this next round of Empath Energetics. So I'm going to be full on for the next 2 weeks as well, coming on here maybe 2 times in a day, or just posting more of those kind of separate videos, those shorter ones. So yeah, I like that too, Stacy. And trying to work with light work. That's definitely a big theme for this week. So working with light. The light that I brought out in my, so on Wednesday and Thursday, I think, of this week, I did shadow work archetype readings and then light work archetype readings. And the light work card that came out for me, as I always put myself in the mix as well, the light work archetype that came out for me was divine child. So I've been really leaning into that as much as I can and actually exploring, like, in what ways do I hold myself back from recognizing my own child divinely connected within me? And, what is the fear around sharing that? And I don't know, I'm just going to share this little story while you're thinking about if you have oracle questions for me. And if you don't, then I'll just log off and that's no problem. But I don't wait too long on these things. So what I realized, sort of an expansion on this light archetype of divine child, is when I was younger and I was starting to question the spiritual beliefs that I had been raised with and brought up with, in a sense, especially in the school system, I took my religious beliefs really seriously when I was young. And I must have let go of some aspect of feeling that I was just allowed to be connected to divine as like my birthright, because a lot of my classmates, when I joined the public school system, started questioning me on it. And they were sort of like trying to poke holes in my beliefs and trying to tell me that I wasn't smart, basically, that I wasn't smart for feeling connected. And I know now that that's not how it is, but it's interesting that there's probably some aspect of me that still feels like it's linked to not thinking things through, to have this connection to divine. Just from little Kate, imprinting that and being like, frankly, I would be put in uncomfortable situations where kids are sort of like multiple are talking at me at once, and they're sort of telling me that, the reason I don't, yeah, you can ask questions. You're allowed to ask oracle questions. The reason that I don't, they would say the reason that I don't swear is because I thought I was going to get in trouble or get sent to hell or something, which isn't what I felt as a kid. And so I felt like frustrated because I would feel like I needed to explain myself and to explain your spiritual beliefs and to try and defend yourself when you're young like that. You would let go of a part of yourself. Welcome, Alexandra. If you have an oracle question, feel free to ask. I'm here asking or answering oracle questions, not asking them. I'm here to answer them. And if you go back and look at the beginning of this video, I just did a collective energy reading. So, okay, I'm going to get started on questions. So just ask an oracle question, anything that you would ask a psychic or you want to know about. Stacy's question is, how do I bring more light in my life? How do I bring more light in my life? You light up my life. Okay. Oh, interesting. Yeah. So, Stacy, I'm getting two things very clearly for you from this Earth Magic deck, which is lovely. And we have Sanctuary or Cave. And then you also have Rainbow and Blessings. So Stacy's question was, how do I bring more light in my life? And I would say it's this separation of two energies. So, I was just talking about, and you're resonating in this collective energy with this lower grounded earth rootedness, and then also this expansive upward galactic kind of energy. And so this is similar in that it's like, if you're going to be involved, interacting, and especially when you're communicating this week, especially. So how do you bring more light in your life? I'm going to say for the next week or two, especially. Rainbow and Blessings is all about, oh, hey, Jackie. Rainbow and Blessings is all about like counting your blessings, recognizing all your blessings. There's a rainbow in here in this card because it's like, it's a magical thing, right? When we see a rainbow, and they happen more in Scotland here than they do back home in Ontario. And what's home anymore? I actually have a home here. So, oh, Princess. Okay, I'll get to that question too. My parents' Yorkie, Koopy, he's been suffering a little bit too. So something's up in the Yorkie collective, which is sad. Okay. So Stacy, this rainbow blessings, it's like about counting your blessings, but also marveling in them, kind of like dancing in them. Hello. Hi, Eric Lee. You can ask a question if you want. Instagram, you're welcome to ask questions for these oracle readings. So feel free. Yeah. And then this cave sanctuary time is sort of like, if you're not feeling like being around people, it's like, take total cave time, take total respect for just doing your own thing. Because that's how it's going to be easier for you to have this perspective. And totally the collective energy this week is all about keeping perspective. Sin, don't worry. I'll pick apart your question later. I'm just joking, but maybe not. I'll see. I'll see later. I'll answer it. Yeah. So Stacy, how to bring more light into your life is this cave sanctuary. I'm also going to pull a Keepers of the Light card for you because I'm feeling like you actually need to do a bit of upper realm work. So we can talk about that in our next session. Feel free to book in for your next session and we'll deal with that. Upper realm. Yeah, karma releasing. So you have Saint Germain. So you might actually feel compelled to do some work with purple energy, purple flame or fire, purple energy, purple light. Karma releasing says move beyond drama, create your own path and make room for good energy. And that may be why I'm feeling compelled to tell you to focus on this cave and sanctuary energy, because if you don't make space for yourself, if you don't make room to just spend time in the cave, the proverbial figurative, cave of your life, then it can feel like you're overextended. And then when you're overextended, it feels like you can't actually see your blessings as the blessings that they are. And so it's like asking you to take even more inward time so that when you come out, you're very grateful and then you're receiving a lot more of what is good. So what I also mean by cave time, I'm going to tell you, how do you bring more light in your life? You get dark in cave time. And in a sense, you get inward and you pull your energy inward and then it's sacred. And you pull it so far in within you that it doesn't feel like any of it could leak out. And that actually builds a stronger connection with you and your sacred self. Then when you exit the world, you're able to actually see these rainbows a lot more clearly. It's like technicolor instead of like a black and white. Let me know if this resonates with you, Stacy. I'm curious to see how that fits with you. Okay, Sin, what should I currently expect from Shiloh as he went quiet on me? Stacy says, I haven't been in the cave in a long time. Or you have been? You have been in the cave in a long time? Did you mean to say haven't? I feel like you meant to say haven't. Let me know. What should I currently expect from Shiloh as he went quiet on me? Does he still like me? Let me pull a romance card. Let's see what Shiloh's got to say today. It's also a weekend. And I have this feeling, Shiloh is here to teach you something about giving your heart over and not building expectations. So it's like, I guess what I'm feeling is, Cloudberry, I see you're reading your question, so I will answer that as well right after Alexandra's. Love that it resonated by Stacy. Oh, good. I'm glad. Thank you for being here, Stacy, and getting the party started by asking a question. It brings in all the other ones. There's always got to be someone who does it first. I'm actually surprised you're not more of a fire sign. Yeah. So, Sin, does Shiloh work? Does Shiloh work? Maybe. I'm willing to learn, and I'll take your advice to heart. Thank you. At least you know it's coming. I really appreciate that you understand my energy, because, as you've been coming on here, it's like, because we haven't met for a session or anything, sometimes I could be saying things that are like, big deals, right? Or you never know how stuff could be received. So thank you for just being open-hearted, open-minded. I love that. That just makes me so happy. And part of what I'm feeling is your lesson here, and your learning, your teaching, is to be open heart and open-minded. And you have no idea if he works, right? So if you don't know if he works, it's like, why even question if he still likes you? Because that's like, there's a lot more to know about him. There's a lot more to be curious about and to learn about, and to actually enjoy the process of that, to really like appreciate and enjoying your time. Oh, I'll definitely do these readings as well here. So thank you, Instagram. Thank you for those. Yeah, so Sin, what we have here is finances and career. And immediately when I saw that, I really felt you are curious to know more. Okay, that's good. Immediately when I saw the finances and career, I felt like he's actually just distracted working, and it has like nothing to do with you. And so what you need to be conscious of, and what we all need to be conscious of, I really do truly feel this, is not to send thought arrows of doubt out into the world, because that may hit him. And in a sense, if you're doubting and continuing to doubt and waiting for some sort of, and I don't think you're doing this actively, but we do this just by thinking something, that thought gets sent out, You're sending out a thought of, I doubt you like me, because why question it, right? You already had a feeling like he did, or you're already curious anyways. And so the practice is actually to be really openly loving, to say, I just wonder what's up. And out of curiosity rather than expectation. That's a really beautiful energy you shifted it to there. And then there's also this wedding, and it says this situation involves marriage. And kind of what I'm feeling is actually there's a lot of things internally that you're looking at and resolving here about your own level of commitment and the truth of what commitment is to you. Because it can look different for a lot of different people. It's not a cut and dry thing what internal and heart-based commitment looks like. Are you committed to loving this person and caring about them, whether or not they give you that care back and love you back? Can you give that freely without it feeling like a risk? And I think to navigate it in such a way where it doesn't feel like you're risking yourself is wise. And that's where you're going to end up getting to. I'm going to pull a Prism Oracle card for you as well here. And then I'm going to shift on to Alexandra. So I think what to expect from Shiloh is nothing, just actually to just be really curious and focus on love. This Prism Oracle card is just saying love. That's all it says. So if you focus your energy and you expect just to explore the idea of love in witnessing your connection just from your side, it really has so much less to do about him. And if you could send thought arrows of love, but zero expectation, and, oh, I hope he's having a great weekend, or, oh, I'd really love to talk to him again soon. I just really enjoyed talking to him. Then it breeds no energetic disconnect, right? The thing that I also feel about Shiloh is that he's kind of got this free spiritedness about him. And it's something that, like, perhaps your soul yearns for and seeks itself. And so that could even be part of it, could be part of building your own self love. Oh, good, Stacy. We have an appointment on the 18th. I'm glad. I'm always just kind of like day of these days because my schedule kind of does get filled up. So I'm very excited for that. And if anyone is looking to join the Empath Energetics course or do some deeper work with me, if you're on Instagram, you'll have to go to the YouTube to see all those links, or you'll see links actually in my link tree in there. But if you're on YouTube, you can see all my links below. I've got a few more people who are thinking about joining Empath Energetics, and I am going to start sharing. I'm really excited about this. I was telling you all, if you've been on these lives, I was telling you all that I did a journey to meet with energetically each of the different people who's going to join the next round 5 of Empath Energetics. It may be the last round of Empath Energetics, this program that I've done, because I am feeling really like I've had a lot of psychic dreams about what is coming forward in my life. So anyways, let's continue on. Sin, let me know if there's any questions that get brought up, or just, how that resonated with you. Alexandra, Yorkie is sick. What is your take on her? It's the bigger one, Princess. I love Princess. Oh, Princess. I see her, I see her kind of being easily stressed. I see her kind of like stressing and sort of being high energy. So what I'm feeling is like put really like calming vibes around her. I just see her stressing out. It's really strange. I just almost like I'm like in her mind, and it's a really, really busy mind for a dog. Like it's very, very unusual to me. And I do tend to connect to animals. This says the big picture and angelic help. So Alexandra, you might actually want to connect to, maybe there's an angel that does connect to animals specifically, or animal healing. If anyone happens to know that, feel free. She's sweating? Or I'm curious what that squealing? I don't know what you're trying to say. Yeah, but I do want to know. So let me know what you're. No. No. Yeah, with Princess, I feel like, yeah, I really feel like a really, really high mental energy. Like the nervous system is overwhelmed and stressed out. So swollen, yeah, and like inflamed. So think in your mind, and this is a way to support her, is think cooling, calming, moon energy. Keeping things quiet, I feel like would be really helpful, like some belly. Oh, Princess. Yeah, I really am feeling a lot of like cooling energy. So, I mean, it makes sense, obviously, swelling, swollen, that you would be like inflamed. And so you would need cooling in general. But I really feel calm, like it's like yin energy and chill, calm, quiet, very quiet. Because I feel like it's her nervous system actually, and her, like, it's really strange. It's a really strange experience. But I feel like this little dog, I'm like just getting this mind where she's reacting, and then that makes sense. It's like she's sort of puffing up. There could be a physical issue as to why that's happening, right? But cooling is what I'm feeling. So yeah, maybe look up to see if there's an angel who specifically helps with animal healing as well, because it is saying it's more like upper realm, like angelic help, or bigger picture as well. And that's also why I see bigger picture. It's like her environment, the environment that she's around for at least the time being, to help her through this this phase, to make it a bit more comfortable. going to try castor oil. The thing with castor oil, do what you feel called to, of course. The thing with castor oil is that it can be really heating. So you might want to have some like mint or something. Mint is a cooling herb. So if you're going to use castor oil to I would put some sort of cooling herb with it, because castor oil itself actually can be quite heating and pull things. So yeah, I don't know. I've never thought about castor oil for animals. So that's your call. I can't really give like super specific kind of advice on that, but I definitely think having some sort of mint is like a fairly soothing thing. And, just double check to make sure it's not irritating her skin or anything like that. And I also see humming, or so maybe humming, and it's like really calming energy. That's like what she needs to be around. It's like big picture what's around her. Yeah. Okay. That is the YouTube readings. I'm going to switch over to Instagram. Cloudberry Nail, energy of the week, or what is your need for the week? I like that question. That's a good question. You're welcome, Alexandra. I'm sending healing blessings to Princess. What a sweetie. Oh, puppies. That's so tough. Cloudberry Nail also has a suggestion for you, Alexandra, which is lay a crystal nearby and then the dog can choose it. So if you have crystals, or even if you just have any like healing tools, I'm going to expand this. Even if you have any healing tools, if you put them out on the floor and then see whether the princess is drawn to one or the other, then you might know, okay, like keep that one around, or that type of thing. And I was seeing white crystal, so yeah, maybe selenite or clear quartz or something like that, that sort of like pulls things as well. So you'll see. Lavender oil, yes. Yeah, lavender oil always helps with inflammation. It's like a really, really strong anti-inflammatory in that sense. So could be smart. Yeah. Princess. Okay. So Cloudberry Nail. You have balance and abundance. And what I'm feeling with this balance card is, see how this is like kind of off kilter? And obviously you want it to, get balanced. What I'm feeling is it's really important for you this week, and what you need to do is clearly identify everything that is off kilter in your life right now, everything that is not quite right. And you need to write a list. And you need to just look at this list and say, I am dealing with all of these things. Because sometimes what we do is we try to chill out and just take, one thing at a time. And, we can only do one thing at a time. That's fair. But the downside of not addressing all of things is actually then you might not get the big picture of what are commonalities between all the things that are off kilter. Are there patterns between all the things? And it might not be too many things, but if your finances don't feel like they're in order, that might affect, maybe your diet also doesn't feel like it's in order. So then you don't feel like you can nourish yourself. And then there's some sort of line between those two, rather than just it being about, well, I'll just work on the finance piece, or I'll just work on the diet piece. You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm seeing you actually just need to write down anything that feels out of order, dysfunctional, or you'd like to be better in your life. Kind of do a life audit. I'm going to pull, because we got the abundance card, I'm going to pull a card from the Divine Abundance deck. Yeah, Alexandra, we're all with you. And sending healing energy. Oh, I just saw that it was Stacy who said using lavender oil might help. Yeah, that's true. That's not wrong. Here's the thing, though. You need to super, 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 super dilute the lavender. Do not add much. What is happening with this dog, sorry, I'm just getting drawn back to the princess thing because I just thought about this, is really, really, because she's already overwhelmed, you do not want to further overwhelm her. So too many things all at once, that is too much still. So it's like you got to take it simple in a sense. And with lavender oil and with an animal as tiny as her, you might just want to have it around the air and not actually on her. I'm going to say that actually really clearly. Have it around the air. Energetically, it can still help her with the inflammation. I have done work on people with this. So if you trust me on that, that's something that I feel for that. Yeah. Okay, perfect. Okay. Cloudberry Nail. So we also have flow and individuality. And I was totally feeling this vibe too, like the song express yourself da-na-na-na-na, is like in my head. So it's kind of like that's a high need for you this week. High need, express yourself. So you've got this whole like address what's off kilter, address what doesn't feel right or balanced or anything. Write a list. And if anyone's on the YouTube, if you wouldn't mind just liking while you're here, because I know it's easy to forget, you kind of jump off the live stream, but if you could like this, helps more people see it in the future. Yeah, in Cloudberry Nail, you've also under individuality, it says every person has their own personalized study plan in this Earth School. So when you're writing these things and seeing what's off kilter and what doesn't really feel right in your life, what's important is that you actually take it seriously and say, my life is meant to be different. My life is going to be different than everybody else's life. The way that I'm doing things is different. And so you don't have to compare anything. If your finances aren't where you thought they would be because of someone else's expectations, blah, 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 that's not actually that relevant. What's relevant is, what do you want to do with your finances? And then, and it might not be specifically about finances. That's just what I keep leaning to here. But say with food, right? Okay, your friend's doing this diet. Maybe you should do that. Like, what are you feeling called to? What is your desire? What do you envision your highest self at this point, your own vision? What do you envision yourself getting? And how could you move toward greater expression even in those choices, in your life choices? And then flow is all about responding with calmness and responding with peace. So as soon as you see something that's up in your life, it's not about reacting and saying, I'm doing terribly. It's saying, okay, great. Now I know what I want to work on. Now I know what I want to resolve or expand. So let me know if that resonates. Let me know if it resonates with you. Okay. Eric Lee, I don't really know what to ask. I just remember coming across your page a while back and feeling like I met you before, even though I haven't. You may have a word for me. I gotta say, before I even get into this actually happens a lot where people feel like they know me before, or people meet me and then like within a week or two, they have dreams of me. And then they're like, I'm sorry, is that weird? And it's not weird at all, because I hear it every single month. I swear. It's really strange. But for the last like few years, there's not a month that goes by where someone doesn't tell me that I showed up in a dream for them, or that I feel like really familiar. Hey, Sammy. Or that I feel really familiar to them. And so there is likely, soul resonance here. Or often what happens actually is that someone will have a dream of me and then they'll say, I think I'm supposed to work with you. Like I feel like drawn to doing some kind of work. So it is not uncommon that people feel drawn in some sort of way. And, that happens. So that's not strange at all. And I know you didn't say that, but I just thought that's kind of funny. It does happen a lot. Okay. You might have a word for me. Yeah. Or you might, also have a desire to do deeper work. What I represent is doing deep heart-based work and shamanic work and transformation work and, intuition development. That's a lot of things. There's also more things. Oh, you're so welcome. You're so welcome. Okay, Eric Lee. Message. Whoop. Message. Okay. It's interesting. Eric Lee. So we have ghost and caution, and I immediately got this feeling of someone who perhaps you were thinking about ghosting, or who ghosted you, someone who ghosted you, who perhaps is trying to make an entrance, or who you're considering. Maybe you're still thinking about them, or considering maybe wanting to reach back out to them. Svetlana, yeah, you can ask a question for sure. You can ask a question. So Eric Lee, it's a very specific thing. It's very interesting. So let me know if you're resonating with this, and maybe we'll get deeper on this in some way. I got this feeling like someone who ghosted you, stopped talking to you, or sort of maybe even put up some kind of barrier or something. And the caution is actually to say, like, to not actually allow your thoughts or energy to go towards them any more than they already have, to not welcome this person back in. Yeah, it feels like really weirdly clear. I actually feel like a little bit, which is fine, but physically, I actually feel a little bit like sick, almost like caught in my throat about it. Um, it's sort of like a stay back, like kind of like, I don't want to go so far as to say danger, but it's like definitely not a good energy to have around you in your life. It's not like a supportive energy. And I can't tell, am I spot on? Okay, cool. I don't know why I'm surprised. That really happens to me a lot. I kind of forget that I'm psychic. I've done thousands. I promise you, I've done thousands of readings, and I still forget sometimes that like what I'm saying is accurate. Oh goodness. Yeah. Okay. Let me know if this comes up with more for you. I'm gonna give you this as well. This is Charity, which says prayer and contemplation. It says connect with heaven and ask, and you shall receive. So it does feel like you are also, as much as this was a message that I had to give to you. I do feel like the familiarity you feel with me is actually more so from almost sort of, this isn't me trying to be conceited, but it's kind of like the like recognizing a teacher and just going like, oh, it's almost like before even having that, that there's some sort of thing to glean from. And look, whatever comes through me might be helpful for you, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, this person, just trust your instinct that this is not a person to welcome back and not a person to allow into your energy. And also that I feel a lot of like upper world energy. And what I mean by that is, in this kind of shamanic way, upper realm is like ancestors and guides and angels and deities and your higher self, like even connecting to your higher self in a much deeper way. Feels like a lot of work, actually. I really feel like my energy keep pulling here. It feels like a lot of work for you, maybe even in the galactic realm, but all upper realm. Which would give you a lot of guidance. And so that may be part of what's been going on for you, is not feeling like you necessarily have a clear guidance. And we all deserve to have that, we all deserve to feel like we know we're being guided. Okay. Yeah. Each time I choose to tune in to spirit, guidance of the highest truth shows up for me. That is an epic card for you. Epic card. Each time I choose to tune into spirit, guidance of the highest truth shows up for me. I feel my way into faith one step at a time. So it's like, don't rush this, but at the same time, keep stepping forward. Stacy says, you can come into my cave with me. Yeah, it's important to be like kind of that withdrawn energy that I was saying to Stacy. If you're getting any type of like kind of like resistance with other people, it's cave time, baby. Time to meditate, be with your sacred self, and then do upper realm work. Absolutely right. Oh man, how awesome. It is awesome, isn't it? This work is awesome. Everyone else can do this if you chose to in your lifetime. These skills are available to you. It's not some weird special power. It's actually a whole bunch of things, brain work, throwing spaghetti at the wall, seeing what sticks. So anyways, if you feel this, connected, and obviously that was easy for me to read you as well, would be happy to continue doing so. And Empath Energetics, I'll let everyone know, just because I know, times are weird and people are at lots of different places with their finances. That for the Empath Energetics program, it's $533 a month for 4 months. But I can do 6-month, 8-month, or 12-month payment plans. So it really does break it down like a lot more. Because I recognize, sometimes it's just a matter of saying, I got to do this. I got to get in here, do this archetype healing, the soul work. I got to get back to myself, gain energy. I want to learn intuition development, connect to spirit and all these things. But like, I can't just do all that right now. It's too much at one time to cost it out. So just so everyone knows that that's a thing. And yeah, if anyone is interested, you can book a free 15-minute call with me, and then we just talk about it and we see if you're a good fit, if now's the right time, or if there's maybe some other kind of work that we're meant to do. And I am doing more shamanic work as well with people, but I am trying to do a lot of that in person now that I have a beautiful little spot here in Scotland to do that with. Okay, Svetlana Dimitrova. It's a great name. Dimitrova. Maybe I'm saying it wrong. I'm sure I'm doing the pronunciation of it wrong. Eric Lee, just let me know if there's anything else that comes up, if there's any little questions, or, feel free to message me if you want to book a session or something like that. I can send you the link. Svetlana, is there a chance for reconciliation with V? What to expect next? Is there someone else in his life? Thank you for the heart. Either way, hearts to you as well. Okay. So I feel like there's people trying to walk into his life, but that he's not committed to anyone. He's not like super focused on anyone else. Yeah. Okay. Sounds good, Eric. And yeah, actually, I should mention too, if anyone is wanting to reimburse me for the time and things like that, if you're wanting to donate to this work that I do, I'm happy to do this for free for now, but it may not be that case in the future. I have a feeling that come May, I'll just do donation only. So if anyone wants to donate now, it's to the PayPal link. And that PayPal link is below in my YouTube. Okay. Svetlana, you are getting love yourself first and also true love. And it says, love yourself first. Your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive. And then true love says this is the romance of a lifetime. And now what I feel is this true love with yourself is the true romance of a lifetime. And then we also have let go of control issues. So what all of this is saying to me is actually really positive. I feel like the chance for reconciliation I'm getting is 15%. So that's not positive. I understand that. That's not like a super positive odds or probability. But what is beautiful about this opportunity is that you can expect to actually return to yourself and feel a bit more self-worth, a bit more worthy of greater and deeper connection. Because what happens sometimes is when we're waiting on someone's energy, we start to realize, what am I actually waiting on here? We know what we think we want, but what about what we actually deserve? And what we deserve is usually higher than what we think we want. And what you actually deserve is a connected, open, obvious love, an obvious kind of love. Allowing this to unfold naturally, you might say, if I just allow it to go naturally, it could just never happen. And if it's never going to happen, then that could be the natural way. I don't feel there's someone in his life, but I also don't feel there's anyone in his life, which means, unfortunately, that also includes not you. And how beautiful it is to incorporate some love for yourself, to actually see how beautiful it would be if that same love that you felt and were longing for with V was tripled. It was like 3 times as good. Ooh, da da da. I just had like a little a little music interlude here. If it was 3 times as good and you had all this beautiful, beautiful love and beautiful energy coming in, then it really wouldn't be that much of a concern. Sorry, I'm just like moving everything around so I can plug in my laptop here. Then it wouldn't be a concern about his energy specifically, because it would be so obvious that this would just blow it out of the water. And I get this, that it's really frustrating when it's not there, because it's like, sure, easy to say, but what if that never comes? I waited long enough. This is what I hear. I waited long enough for this to be good. It's not that there's no chance. I said there's 15%. 15% means he gets into really high alignment and you have completely no expectations, no resentments, and it's just like open, open, open. There's a 15% chance that could still happen. But 85%, it's going on this journey of self-worth and of creating a great true love affair with yourself and loving yourself first. Because the thing is, waiting on someone, it's not obvious. It feels like with so many love situations, when it's working, it is obvious and good and it is clear. And you deserve obvious and clear and certain and positive and fulfilling and heartwarming. And you deserve a really compassionate and considerate person. And this doesn't feel like that, which makes me, it makes me sad, because this person doesn't get to enjoy you and doesn't get to actually like really see the love that you have to offer him in full, right? But you have that love also to offer yourself in the meantime, that draws a deeper, more connected partner towards you. That's what I feel. I don't feel that it will be with V. And what to expect next, I actually see someone else next for you. I keep hearing September, so it might feel like a long wait, maybe not. But that's what I feel. I already answered. It does not feel like there's someone else in his life. I already answered that. Yeah. And I'll answer this a little bit, but then I'll wait until, I'm doing another live oracle tomorrow. So I try to do like kind of one main question per person per night, because I'm getting close to, I actually need to start taking lights off. I see your question. Thank you. Thank you for clarifying. What kind of man will he be? I will pull one little card for this, because I understand the desire to connect with this next energy. I totally get it. Sarah, you can ask, and you're going to be my last question of the night. You can ask a question, then that'll be it. I've got to go turn the lights off at this. I work at a retreat center, and I live on a retreat center now. So I've got to go turn all the lights off at 10. So that's why I've got to hop off. Okay, I feel like Svetlana, I feel like this person is actually going to be a bit spiritually minded. Like they're kind of going to, they're going to have a sort of like a positive faith in how things work. We have Hilarion, divine healing, and charity, which is prayer and contemplation. I feel like they're going to be a bit quiet and a bit of a thinker. I also feel like you're going to feel like really super supported by this person. And that's why this energy is going to be so different from V, right? I said it could be like 5 times, 3 times, 5 times, 10 times, what you're getting right now, because it feels like actual support. And when you know the difference, right? You'll be like, oh, this is what it feels like. This is what I was waiting for. This is so much better. Like, why was I even thinking that trying to resurrect something, trying to bring up something was going to work, when this person was ready to hold me, up? You don't have to bring something up. This person's going to hold you as you collapse, or as you fall into them. And I just see like a head on a chest, to just be like, that's what it's going to feel like. Hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully that's clear to you. I also feel like this person's going to be way more considerate and kind of like sensitive to you. And it might be like unsettling, because you're not used to someone feeling that way. You might be like, oh my gosh, like I got to be careful around you. Ooh. It's a good thing. I think it's a good thing, but just FYI, you might notice them that way. Thank you for being here, Svetlana. And anyone who's watching, you're liking this, feel free to, there's PayPal, there's booking a time with me to talk about empath energetics, or there's just liking the video, subscribing, making sure that you come back. Yeah, I think they're going to be special, Svetlana. So look forward to it. And, timing wise, they could show up at any time. I said September, but, when it has to do with 2 different people making own decisions, that's why I go in percentages, because anything could change and shift. Sarah, current feelings of Khaled for me. Does he want to marry me? Can you confirm whether or not you're together already? I feel like you are. He's Leo and I'm Sag. Fire signs. I'm a fire sign. I'm an Aries. Yeah. So I was getting this feeling like he's holding back a little bit from actually committing to the marrying thing. We talk. Yeah. So I don't get the sense that he's on marriage. So that's okay though. That's okay. The reason he's not on like marriage right now is because he kind of is like one of these guys who feels like he needs to prove himself. And actually a lot of guys end up being in that kind of energy because of the world that we live in and the way that we the way that we shape men and sort of have expectations for them. What I'm feeling specifically with him is that he's like trying to make sure he's good enough for you, which is kind of an annoying energy. I don't like that energy myself, but it's sweet in a sense. It's sweet in a sense. They're just trying to. So this is him. Power and new beginnings. So there is new beginnings is kind of my like engagement, dawn, new day. Like he's trying to like, I basically think he's trying to like figure out a way that he can be enough to build like a life with you that can actually be like really good. He kind of wants to like impress you or be able to like offer you more. And power, right? He's focusing on this power of lightning. And your energy is emergence and also tsunami, which is wake up call. I don't know if he's still in love with me. Yeah. So I actually see it's very interesting. I see him like trying to kind of like figure himself out because he is like really down on himself. And so it's like, it's kind of impossible to like give a lot of love to someone when you're like so down on yourself because you don't think you're worth anything. You don't really think you're worth their love. You don't really know if you have anything to give. So he's like, well, I have nothing to offer. So I might as well go build something to offer. And it's like, yeah, you could just offer me your love and then we'd be cool. Come on, dude. It doesn't really make much sense. That's the kind of energy. It's like, it doesn't really make much sense. And the thing is, that's only going to work for, for so long. Is that how you feel? Yeah, right. So it's only going to work for so long that it goes that way. And so your energy actually might be like, I don't really feel like this person is worthy of marrying. And it's not to say he's not ever worthy of marrying someone, but there's this weird stuff about timing and right fit and how we trigger each other's wounds. And I see he sees you in a really positive light. So it's not that he just doesn't love you. So don't think that. But the way that someone is capable of loving and the way that you are actually like looking to be loved, I don't know if they're fully aligned right now. Because it kind of feels like he's looking to provide for you and you're kind of like, man, that's not really like what I need from you. I need some other things. And those things are just not even in his frame right now to be able to focus on. Because he's focusing on building up his power and trying to like have more with him. So, it could be that this is just a phase that, he ends up finding some of this power and it ends up being that you drift towards each other. And it could also be, and the way that I would see it happening is not him leaving, but rather this disconnect being so massive and sort of the lack of understanding because he'll be kind of stressed. It feels like he's kind of stressed. I shouldn't be laughing. It feels like he's kind of stressed because he's stressed himself out, right? He's sort of saying, well, this is what I got to do. And this is my role. And this is my responsibility. And like, just like a lot of pressure. And then that's not really a loving energy. So it's just going to be really difficult for him to approach you with loving energy because he barely loves himself right now. That's what it feels like. It doesn't feel like he's got a good, healthy self-love. And you, on the other hand, you do have a bit more of that. And so it's sort of like, yeah, maybe that's just where it's not in alignment. Because he's not really able to give himself any. So then he doesn't like spill over to having more for you. It's just, it's such a simple thing. It's so nice when someone is just like excited to see you and really looking forward to seeing you next and thinking about life together with you rather than thinking they need to go and do it on their own in order to like prove something. And then you're each going to be individually focused, but you're going to have a partnership that is like, okay, we handshake and we agree on this. Just there's something so beautiful and so precious about simply enjoying each other's company. And it just doesn't feel like he's able to be super present with that right now. So it could be that you put up a bit of a boundary or a line of, I just want it to feel positive. I'd like it to feel really nice. And at the same time too, like, you're going to feel out. It's so obvious with this type of stuff. It's when you know, and when you don't know, you don't know. And then as soon as you know, it's obvious and there's no way to unknow it. I hope that makes sense. But yeah, this stress that he's put on himself isn't yours to carry. And it just might be indicative of whether or not he's actually ready for that loving connection rather than simply trying to convince himself that he can be a good enough partner for you. But that's all saying he thinks of you in a really positive light. Otherwise, he wouldn't be doing this to himself, trying to figure this out and trying to stress himself out. So, yeah, I don't feel like marriage is in his mind because I don't feel like he sees himself as a suitable candidate for marriage. So it doesn't have anything to do with you. And maybe he's trying to think about how he could work himself up to that place. So let me know if that resonates with you, Sarah. If it does, if it does not as well, I'm happy to hear either way. I think it would be more in alignment for you to be with someone who is able to focus on you. And I just don't know if he's able to focus on you right now. And, you know, sometimes you walk away from someone just because that's what's right at the time. And then they are able to get perspective, and sometimes they're not. This week is all about perspective. So you might enjoy watching the beginning of this video once it's posted, because and you can just go under my YouTube, and then it goes videos, shorts, and lives. And under lives, you'll be able to see I talked in the collective energy at the beginning, the collective energy reading, all about perspective and how it's important to hold that. And you might actually get something out of that. We all kind of get something out of the collective energy altogether. See you later, Instagram. Thank you for being with us tonight. And I will be back tomorrow for open oracle readings. You are welcome, Sarah. You are welcome. And yeah, anyone who's on the live right now who has not liked the video, could you please do that? Give it a thumbs up, and make sure you're subscribed and getting notifications. There's like a little notification bell, and then you'll know when I'm live, so you can be here next time. I am going live a couple times tomorrow. I'm really looking forward to that. And Empath Energetics begins May 1st. So signups are open till May 1st. And it's a really beautiful intuition development, self-healing, spiritual expansion, energy program. It's archetype healing. It's like, it's everything. It's so many things. It's the thing I'm most proud of developing. And it includes a lot of oracle time, coaching time, direct me just reading people. It's so much more powerful when I get to actually see people and get to know them as well. You know, you think it's like, it feels like we know each other just hanging out here, but it's even deeper in Empath Energetics. So thank you for being here. Thank you, Stacy, Sarah, Svetlana, Alexandra, Sin, Eric Lee, and Cloudberry Nails. Okay. Enjoy the rest of your night or day, anything. Take care, everyone. And we'll see you soon. Bye.